Empire Bluffs Yoga. We're here at the edge of the Empire Bluffs, having hiked out beyond the lookout point toward Mount Baldy. Here we can find quiet on the bluffs in the Sleeping Bear Dunes, with Lake Michigan far below. Tune out all distractions. The sounds of nature are all that can be heard, hopefully. The quiet allows us to notice breath, and once we do, it's natural to pair the in and out of breathing with motion. Flexibility, strength, and intention complete the important components of yoga for me. We're going to move back to that breath and pair it with some arm sweeps overhead. Breathe deep and exhale, bringing hands to heart. Let's start standing up, and we'll balance that too. About half of our practice will be standing and include a focus on balance tonight because of the precarious position here. Then the second half will be divided into active seated, and the final part will be relaxation-based yoga. Since we're starting upright, a few flows from breathing in with arms sweeping up to a forward fold, halfway up with a straight back, and then fold again, and reach all the way up before moving into a chair. Hold. Again, breathe in as you sweep the arms up, forward fold with the exhale, halfway with an inhale, and back down, and then sweep up before finding a chair pose and holding for 3 breaths. It doesn't mean you hold your breath. Breathe. One more time. On the last chair, let's twist, taking the left elbow to the right knee and looking up toward the sky if you can. Then take it to the other side. Hold each side equally before reaching up and completing our next flow. This one is familiar to most who practice yoga. You go from an arms up to forward fold and halfway up before stepping back to plank. Move through Chaturanga Dandasana, knees, chest, chin, and then upward facing dog. Pause here and look back over each shoulder before raising hips for the first down dog of our practice. Walk out your dog on the spot and take a minute to set an intention for this pose. I know this can be a pose of rest, but that doesn't mean we aren't working toward straight legs, grounded heels, and a balanced dog. Take your time here before walking forward or hopping. From this forward fold, go up halfway and then sweep arms overhead. Reach your arms into prayer position or overhead as you step into lunge positions on each side. You can hold on each side for extended postures or flow with the breath, stepping back and switching. Arms come down to Samastiti or mountain pose each time you step forward, and then extend as you move into high lunges or crescent lunges. This is a nice warm-up that engages the core and brings strength into our practice if done with intention. Each movement that we pair with intention in yoga helps us to build strength. Repeat or hold for about 5 breaths on each side before stepping again into your samastiti position. Palms face forward, knees can be slightly bent. Push outward with your feet to hold this pose with intention. Side lunges in each direction balance this motion and provide a wonderful stretch. Let's start by bending the left knee and then flow into a wide-legged forward fold before taking it to the right side. You can do a twist in each direction as well. Balance this out with your own variations. Excellent. Now let's step back together into samastiti at the front of our mats or towels, and then we'll practice low lunges with a flow into half monkey or half split on each side. Start with the left foot forward and move slowly with intention, lowering the right knee, and flow through 3 or 4 stretches that go between a half monkey and a low lunge, with your arms going up and then your head coming down over the knee. Once you're ready, switch sides to the other side. So now you have the right foot forward, and then flow from that low lunge with arms overhead into a half monkey, folded over that outstretched front knee. Again, flow back and forth 3 or 4 times before we meet in a low lunge with the right foot forward, and then raise up to a high lunge. Step forward for another Chaturanga Dandasana flow series. Arms overhead, reach high, then swan dive to the floor. Step back into plank, and then down with knees, chest, chin. Up dog, and back into a downward facing dog. You can walk out, really walk out that downward facing dog. From this dog, lower down to a puppy and baby cobra flow series with the breath. Repeat 3 or 4 times, going between a puppy with your hips over your knees and shoulders as low to the ground as you can. You can put your forehead all the way onto your mat, or you can look up toward your outstretched arms. Either way, flow between that puppy and baby cobra with your breath. Once you're ready, go ahead and step up back into that downward facing dog and walk toward the front of your mat. You may want to step off the mat for balance poses here. I'm going to challenge myself with dancer's pose on each side. Balance can mean more than we'd first associate with it. For example, it means, of course, finding your drishti point, Holding oneself upright in increasingly challenging poses is what people tend to think of when they think of balance. In that way, the dancer's pose is a challenge that is, I continue to strive towards. Balance also has to do with even distribution of the direction of poses. If we do it on the right, we do it on the left, and forward and backward too. Balance also refers to the amount of flow and holding still. If you've got some energy, loosen up here. Or if it's lacking a little, then warm up and get the blood pumping. Balance is also to be had in how much you follow along and how much you adapt. Feel free to adjust to your own needs and take care to even out your balance postures before meeting me in some form of yogic squat. Toes are pointed slightly out and the back is straight. If you're up for another balance challenge, you might attempt a crow here as well by placing your weight on your elbows with your knees and lifting your feet as far off the ground as you can. Now, if you're in a crow, you can move back to a yogic squat, or from your yogic squat, find your way to the mat for our final portion of the practice. A few stretch poses to ease into final relaxation. Let's start with a staff pose, or you can stretch the legs out. Lift up, reaching toward the sky. Bend from the hips and reach for your knees, ankles, or even the toes. Work your way forward, remembering to bend from the hips. And go ahead and sit up. Reach your arms overhead. And bring knees together. And work your way over onto your back and up into a bridge posture. If you'd like to walk out your bridge or take a bind, those are both terrific options. Then, slowly bring your hips back down, knees into chest, and rock, massaging the lower back, side to side. Then, one final twisting posture. Maybe windshield wipers. Find your way into final twists on each side before extending each leg for final relaxation. Once you're ready, maybe take a full body stretch. For our final posture, generally the arms lay at the side, palms up, and the feet fall slightly open for the final pose of our practice. This is a great opportunity to take some deep 3-part breaths. Find quiet reflection. Maybe do one final scan here, relaxing all the way from toes to ankles, breathing into each part of your body on this final scan. At this point, if you're ready to finish our session, then find your way onto your side before sitting up and reaching overhead for 3 deep cleansing breaths to seal our practice. Go at your own pace. Namaste. Thanks for joining us for yoga on the Empire Bluffs. If you enjoyed this yoga session, please like and subscribe so I know to record more. Thank you. Namaste.